Hello everyone, and welcome to the Modern Day Gamer. In today's episode, as you can tell by the video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 Black Series figures out that I want and don't have. I do have some honorable mentions for this list, so please hold off as I'll put the honorable mentions in between the second and first figures on this list. Now at number 10, I have a split figure that is Jabba the Hutt and Han Solo. I love Jabba the Hutt, and I would love to have the San Diego Comic-Con one because it has so many accessories, but since I can't have it, it's an exclusive, and if I try to buy it online on eBay, it's already been used, and it's like $150 on eBay, then I'll just take the regular Jabba the Hutt because I love his character, and I want to be able to create scenes from episode 6. Plus, he's a huge character who feels like he's more worth it than the smaller figures like Yoda or the Jawa, whom he did beat out for this list. Now, Han Solo taking along with Jabba the Hutt in this is because Han Solo's figure, they all really look pretty decent. I like Han Solo with the Tauntaun. I like Han Solo from the very first wave. I like the 40th anniversary Han Solo. I think they all look very good. And I like Han Solo's character, as he used to be in my top 5 favorite characters, but since the outcoming of Episode 7 and 8, he is no longer there. Now, at number 9, I have the Stormtrooper. It's a Stormtrooper. They all look good. They all are so iconic. And they look better than, and more lifelike and more accurate than almost every character on this list. Even though I like the clones better, which I actually own the original Clone Trooper, you know, I still want a Stormtrooper because I want to have every type of trooper. And this is any Stormtrooper. The Sand Trooper, the Death Trooper, whatever. They all work for me. At number 8, I have Captain Rex. Captain Rex has to be the best clone trooper of all time. He served under the Dark Lord Vader while he was still Anakin. He looked really good. He had that amazing blue paint. And he used 2 pistols that were semi-auto as opposed to a fully auto rifle. His figure is one of the best looking and only falls down because I already have the Clone Trooper. Like I said before, I already have the Clone Trooper, so I don't really feel like if I got Captain Rex, I would be getting anything different, as I could just paint my Clone Trooper to look like Captain Rex. Now at number 7, I have Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren has a lot of figures, a lot of them, probably more than anyone else on this list, and I want the best one. I really like Kylo, even though I think his hood doesn't look that great on any of his figures. They all are really bad, and I don't understand how they can't get it right. But the lightsaber is really amazing, and I love his look in the movie. He's also a character who feels pretty real, being kind of a whiny teenage kid. Now, at number 6, I have Rey from Episode 8. Don't really care for her Jakku look or her with her speeder, even though I want all the vehicles. Rey lands down here because she has a great look, but she's not really my favorite character. She does have my favorite lightsaber of all time aside from Obi-Wan's lightsaber, because she owns Anakin's lightsaber. Rey looks real in this specific Episode 8 doll with a decent amount of accessories, including the pistol, her staff, and the lightsaber, which I love. Right in the middle of the list, we have someone who is probably at the top of the list for most people, and that is Boba Fett. And okay, admittedly, Boba would have been higher if I didn't own the Jango Fett, as I only own 2 of the Black Series figures, the Clone Trooper and Jango Fett, but I prefer Jango's colors and guns more. Even though Boba's a really cool character, I just felt as though Jango was a better bounty hunter. But it's Boba Fett, so he's got to be on the list. He's got one of my favorite looks of all time from Star Wars. At number 4, we have perhaps the coolest Star Wars figure / Star Wars Sith look of all time, and that is Darth Maul. Darth Maul is not my favorite Sith, he's not my favorite Star Wars character, but he's a really good figure. He didn't get enough screen time, and his figure, just like in Episode 1, is often overlooked just because it came from the very first wave and respectively came from a not great movie. This figure has a ton of accessories and he looks perfect. Literally, this figure has an amazing look to it, and I wouldn't change a thing about it, except I would love to see maybe some more hands for him. But that's it. The only reason, like I said, the only reason he's down here is because I like other characters more. He's just simply not the best Star Wars character by any means. And that could be due to the fact that he's in not the best Star Wars movie. At number 3, I have another cheat. It's Obi-Wan from Episode 3, Obi-Wan from Episode 4, and Obi-Wan from Episodes 5 and 6, the Force Ghost Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's my second favorite character in Star Wars, period. My third favorite character made it onto the honorable mentions list, and my favorite character is number 1 on this list, which I'll get to here in a second. He only falls down because his ghost doesn't come with any accessories. The regular old Ben comes with 1 accessory, and his Episode 3 figure is a tad weak and doesn't look like Ewan McGregor at all. And he has 2 of them, and they didn't get either one of them right. But still, he's in my top 3, and if I didn't love Episode 3 so much and really only loved the original trilogy, I would have put him at 2, considering the old Ben figure looks like one of the greatest character figures that they've ever done. Okay, at number 2, I have another cheat. It's Ahsoka Tano and the TIE Fighter with TIE Fighter pilot. Now let me explain the Ahsoka pick. I love the character of Ahsoka, as Star Wars, the Clone Wars animated series is my favorite piece of Star Wars anything, period. And her sculpt is one of the best from this whole line. She looks good, she feels like a character that I love, and she's based off of the Rebels TV show, and she still manages to look real like all the other figures on this list. Now, let me explain the TIE Fighter. Now, a lot of you probably know the TIE Fighter is very iconic. And for me, the TIE Fighter is the best Star Wars vehicle and my favorite Star Wars vehicle of all time. So I just want the TIE Fighter. I don't care about the pilot. I don't care who sits in it, because if I can get another figure in it, I would rather put a Luke Skywalker or an old Ben in it, or Han Solo in it, because that would look cooler. But I want the TIE Fighter. It's huge, it's amazing, it looks good, and a lot of people don't like it, but I love it. Now for the honorable mentions list. Now this list is a little long, admittedly, because it was very hard to narrow down a top 10 list, considering I like a lot of Star Wars characters. Honorable mentions. I will start with 3 characters that have the same issue and why they didn't make the list. R2-D2, Yoda, and the Jawa. Now, you guys probably already know, they're half-size figures for full-size prices. I'm not okay with that. Yoda is probably the weakest one on this list, being that he doesn't look like Yoda. He looks more like Episode 1 Yoda, not Episode 5 Yoda. But Yoda still comes with a lot of accessories, so it's a little bit redeemable. He still just barely got beat out by Jabba and Han. Now, next on this list, I'm going to have characters with the same issue. They didn't appear very much in the movies, and I don't really have a connection with them. That would be the Tusken Raider and the Guavian Enforcer. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Enforcer, I have no idea where he comes from. The Tusken Raider, of course I know where he comes from, but I don't have a connection with them because they never made a Star Wars story about either one of these characters. Now, next are 2 characters who I love, but I think one looks bad and the other one is a little boring. The boring one is Qui-Gon Jinn. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. I think Liam Neeson did a really good job in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, bringing kind of to life a character that is a stark difference from what he normally plays. And my next one is Luke Skywalker with the speeder. I hate the Luke Skywalker dolls. I think they all look terrible. I don't think any of them look good except the Y-Wing one. But it would have been way cooler if that Y-Wing one came with a Y-Wing. He probably would have been number 1 on this list or number 2 on this list had he came with a Y-Wing, because that figure was the first Luke to come out, what really sold everything, and they still can't get Luke Skywalker right. And that's my big issue with Luke Skywalker, even though I want all the vehicles. Now, at number 1, okay, you probably all have guessed this since I haven't said his name yet, but it's kind of a twofer here. It's Darth Vader. And Anakin Skywalker. Okay, I shouldn't really need to explain why Darth is so amazing and why I want Darth so much. But I will explain Anakin. He is Darth Vader, and this is the Episode 3 one, so this is the better version of all the Anakins that we saw in the prequels. And the Star Wars Clone Wars animated series, like I said for my explanation for the number 2, is the best Star Wars content of all time aside from the original trilogies. Yes, the best. I think that Episode 5, 4, and 6 are really great. I think that the Clone Wars series is better than Episodes 6, and maybe on par with Episode 4, maybe a little bit above it. While this figure looks really good, and it doesn't have a lot of accessories, but I love the character of Anakin Skywalker, whether he is in the suit or not. He is my favorite Star Wars character. Number 1 being Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. I love that. And once Anakin turned to the dark side, you really started to see him develop into this Darth Vader character. Then I have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and after that, it's Yoda, my 3 favorite Star Wars characters of all time. Darth Vader figure, and specifically the 40th anniversary one, not the first one they came out with, that one looks atrocious, looks amazing. The Anakin Skywalker one looks amazing. He's got his Sith head and his normal Jedi head. I love that they included that because not a lot of characters get second heads in this line. Okay guys, that's going to conclude my top 10 list for Star Wars The Black Series figures. If you guys enjoyed it, or want other characters, or wondered if I knew about other characters, go ahead and leave a comment below saying you liked it or what characters you want. If you guys hated it, I'm sorry. This is my list, not yours. If you think that another character would have been great for number 1, go ahead and let me know. And as always, guys, have a great day and peace.